We're coming to you live on 2K. So, Greg, when you're in the first game of a back-to-back, how much focus slips into already looking towards the second game?
Well, from a player's perspective, not much. But from the view of a coach, it has to creep in some in terms of making sure you don't overplay your stars.
And the starting lineup for the Timberwolves. Guard and off guard, filled by DiVincenzo and Edwards. Out to the forward, it'll be McDaniels and Randall. And it's Gobert in at the center, filling out the middle. And so the New Orleans Pelicans get the first points of the ballgame. And here's Edwards from the arc. Bangs home the trifecta.
It is so good off the bounce. Edwards working on his shot off the catch, and it is paying off.
Here's Fears. Coming in off a 21-point game his last outing. Williamson. Randall with some nice D. And Greg, when you're dealing with this Timberwolves team fairly deep with size up front,
that can wear you down over the course of a game, and especially in a playoff series, a real strength of this team.
Now Bay, after Anthony Edwards missed from long range. And that one's good, Williamson.
And this team encourages Zion to be assertive inside. They know how skilled and overpowering he can be.
Now here's DiVincenzo. He's been producing a fair amount of offense night in and night out as he's averaging 14 points a game. For New Orleans, they've gone 2 of 3 here to start out the game. Here's Fears. And he banks in the layup.
And a nice job here early of establishing an inside presence.
The Timberwolves have gone 1 of 3 from the field to start this one so far. Williamson against Randall. Good D by Williamson. The Pelicans have gone 3 of 4 from the field to start out the game. Fears' shot is off. Minnesota's gone 1 of 2 from long range in the first quarter. Pass to DiVincenzo. Back to Edwards. Gobert with a screen for Edwards. 5 on the clock. And here is DiVincenzo. Off the mark there with the three-point shot. A minute 20 left here in the opening quarter. Williamson, the pass to Queen. The wide open look here for Fears. And the 3 off target. So, Greg, talking about Jeremiah Fears for a second here. Both he and his brother, Jeremy Jr. Whoa! He flew in there. Wow!
Oh, my. What a huge flush by Edwards, showing off right now.
I'd like to thank AT&T for bringing us that spectacular look from their connected cam. .54 seconds left to play here in the first. Out to the right wing. Here's Fears. And again, New Orleans has no luck.
Well, he better focus now. His efficiency is dropping, but there's enough game left to make corrections.
Rudy is so used to fighting inside. This guy will do whatever it takes.
Williamson against Randall. Here's Fears. And again, no good by New Orleans.
He's stacking up the missed shots right now. He needs to find another part of his game that can help his team.
Now here's Edwards. He's got 5. From deep three-point land. And no good.
And that was a little bit of a range check for him.
Yeah, I mean, he's a very good shooter, but from that distance, his percentages go down.
At the end of one, a closely contested game so far. Timberwolves lead by 1. We'll take a quick break, then get you back to the action. And some good action in the books as we get back to the game that's been pretty close here so far. And let's quickly break down the game we're watching with the Timberwolves, guys.
Well, they used the fast break to generate some easy buckets before the defense could get set.
Everybody in this league wants to run, but not everybody has the personnel to do it. This is a great start.
On the court for the Timberwolves as our second quarter is underway. Randall and Reed holding down the post spots. Conley out there with Dillingham. And it's Clark in at the small forward. So for the Timberwolves, their last game a win against the Pelicans in New Orleans. And one of those high-variance teams, at times the Pelicans seem like a factor, but other times they falter. How do you evaluate them?
Yeah, they certainly have some top-tier talent at the top of the roster, but they've had a very difficult time staying healthy, and ultimately that always interrupts your momentum.
It sure does. Bounce pass Conley. Dillingham wide open, and he fires. And that one falls coming off Conley's feet.
Both teams running perimeter-oriented plays that are working.
Yeah, just going back and forth, it is really competitive out there.
And so James Borrego decides to call timeout, looking for a breather and maybe adjusting a thing or two. Daniels is checked in for the Timberwolves. Edwards comes in for Dillingham. And when it comes to team building, GA, there's been a debate about whether the two-star or three-star approach is more effective.
Kevin, for me, I think it comes down to fit more than anything. It doesn't matter how many stars you have if they don't mesh. And if they're not comfortable in the role that's carved out for them on that respective team.
And here in the second with about a minute and a half gone by. Here's Alvarado. Buries the long-range jumper. Alvarado's got 6.
That's a breakdown defensively. He is far too good of a shooter to leave that wide open.
Conley, the pass to Randall. Now here's Edwards. Randall with a screen for Edwards. And he can't answer back. The three-pointer offline. And so it's Williamson with it. He brings it up for the New Orleans Pelicans. The last time these two clubs came together was also in this building, with an unfortunate ending for the home team.
Yeah, and their last time playing against this club, they fell short. A lot of cheap fouls really plagued their starting unit.
Yeah, they were almost too aggressive defensively. Intensity is one thing. It's a good thing, actually, but you must control it. That's just a smart play right there. The right pass to a ready shooter.
Here's Williamson, and then jammed down as he goes right over Anthony Edwards.
Unbelievable. It defies physics. How can a guy that big stay in the air that long?
So Anthony Edwards, the Timberwolves franchise player. GA, how good do you think he can be?
Well, some were ready to anoint him the new face of the league, but if they're to win the franchise's first title, there's another level he's got to reach.
Pass to Messi. And the dunk by Williamson.
Man, that is a clever move from Williamson, showing you his agility.
To the wing on the left. Randall against Williamson. Randall kicks to Reed. A three-pointer off the mark. The Pelicans have gone 4 of 6 from the field here in the second. Stolen by Reed. Shot and game clock separated by 5. Edwards looking it over to the paint. Here's Randall. It's rebounded by New Orleans. Otto. On the left block, another one falls for New Orleans.
Great opportunity, and he capitalized.
So that'll be it for the first half. Fairly even battle underway in this one. Pelicans ahead. They're up by 4. Allie, let's go to you courtside. What do you have for us?
Thanks, guys. I'm alongside Coach James Borrego. And, Coach, a nice effort so far. What's the key here in the second half, though?
Stay with our defense. That's the key. When we have our opportunities, push the pace. But we got to get stops, push it at them, and keeping a rhythm offensively at our point.
Defense leads to offense. Thanks, Coach.
All right, Allie, thanks for that. We'll be right back after halftime for the start of the third quarter. We'll see you in just a moment.
Thanks for tuning in. The story tonight with the Minnesota Timberwolves, they're in a close game.
Even teams that have great shooters have to be selective. They're hucking it up from beyond the arc, hoping for the best. And it reminds me of my free throws, mostly bricks.
It's like they went to the O'Neal three-point shooting academy.
Very funny.
Changing things up just a bit, let's catch a glimpse of the Western Conference standings at the moment.
I think for the Timberwolves, they've been hanging around the upper echelon, playing with good energy. Feels like the chemistry is right with this team. They put themselves in the championship discussion.
That'll do it for our show tonight. Thanks for joining us, and we'll send you back to Kevin Harlan for more Hoops action.
And we've got second half action for you. Thus far, a pretty evenly contested game. Zion Williamson with a strong contribution so far, guys, in this one.
In those first 2 quarters, he was pretty much an automatic bucket getter if he got it down low on the block.
And you are going to see this defense now switch things up against him, but he has the skill set to counter that.
Timberwolves trail by 4. Zion Williamson is out there with Bay. Then there's Trey Murphy. Then it's Fears. And it's Queen in at the center position. So that's who James Borrego starts the second half with. Out of bounds, New Orleans will take possession. Greg, Anthony Edwards is full of confidence, and it's beautiful to watch.
And rightfully so. Ant can do it all on the floor. As complete of a wing as you'll find in our league.
Right now, let's take a second to catch up with Allie LaForce on the sideline.
Thanks. The Timberwolves have elite shot creation, but it's finding that balance. Anthony Edwards said, I'm wired to score the ball. I'm going to showcase my game, so it's hard to find that balance of when to pass and when to keep it and try to get going. Sometimes I feel like the right play is me. Back to you.
Fills it up with the best. All right, Allie, as always, we thank you. Back to Bay. There's a screen. Just 5 to shoot. Pass to Queen. From outside, off the mark. Timberwolves trail. Here is Edwards. Gobert down low. And they get some nice contributions from him on a nightly basis as he averages over 11 points a game.
This is Rudy in his zone, where his shot is within easy reach.
And so James Borrego decides to call timeout. He's going to take a minute here to get things straightened out. Tim, if you could start a franchise with one player not named Wembanyama, who would you select?
I think I'd go with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander right now. When you look at his age, combined with the fact that I believe he is the single toughest individual cover in the NBA, he can just collapse defenses at will.
That is so well said. Would you pick a position or the player? How would you discern between those two thoughts?
I think the key for me is I want to take a guy who's going to make the decisions for me with the basketball in his hands. When you have a ball-dominant league with stars controlling the action, I want that one guy who I know I can pencil in high-level production every night.
Pass to Randall for the lead. He pulls it in.
You have to defend the three-point line. They got lucky he missed that one.
Now Fears. Out to the wing. New Orleans needs to get off a shot. That three off target. Had some space there after the little pump fake. And a four-time Defensive Player of the Year. Rudy Gobert is improving his perimeter defense as well, Greg. It's helped his overall game.
Yeah, teams look to pull him outside and test his lateral quickness. But I tell you, he holds up better than you think, and we know his presence at the rim.
And timeout called by Chris Finch. He's going to make some adjustments to the game plan. Alvarado, he's checked in for Williamson. The Timberwolves also with the sub. Conley's checked in.
Shoot two.
No good on the free throw.
And what you love about Edwards is how intense he is. Guy plays hard every minute he's on the floor.
And that one falls, and that puts him up by 1 point.
Well, his job there was to get them the lead, and he did that.
A touch over 2.5 minutes of basketball played here in the third quarter.
And the rebound battle split evenly thus far.
Pass to Conley. Over in the corner, McDaniels. Another miss by Minnesota. Inside, New Orleans moving the ball around and wrestling for it there, but no one has possession. We'll have a jump ball. In the pass to Alvarado. Here's Fears. 6 on the shot clock. They need this one. He takes it up and lays it in. And the Pelicans lead by 1. Guys, we're not through 3 quarters of play, but 6 lead changes already in this one.
Yeah, competitive, and I think we all can agree that we thought this would be the type of game that would come down to the end.
No one near Edwards as he lets it fly. Off target from outside. New Orleans getting blank from three-point land so far in the third. Still 0 for 3. 6-second difference between shot and game clock. And it's Alvarado in the corner. No good from outside. Edwards with it. Lets the three fly. The offensive rebound.
Oh, what terrific hustle. He's got a nose for the rebound.
Craig, he's ferocious when the ball goes up. It's still anybody's game as we've reached the end of 3. Timberwolves lead by 1. We're going to step aside for just a second, but join us right back here for the start of the 4th quarter. Next. And a chance right now to show you our State Farm assist of the game.
Yeah, an easy choice tonight. Look at the precision on this pass. Put it on a platter for him.
Yeah, playing for one another. That's the definition of teamwork.
3 quarters behind us. 1 more to go. Thanks for being with us as we begin the 4th. And a look at the 5 for the Timberwolves to start the 4th. Randall and Reed holding down the post spots. Dillingham is out there with Conley. And it's Clark in at the small forward position. To the inside, here's Reed, and Reed throws it down.
Every year, it seems like Randall's playing with more awareness. That's why you can now run the offense through him.
To the left side wing. And so it looks like the Pelicans will retain possession here.
A split second late, but almost came up with a steal there.
And regardless, it's great effort. You love to see that kind of hustle on defense.
Looking who's out there now for the Pelicans. Queen's checked in. Bay comes in for Yves Missi. Trey Murphy's checked in for Hawkins. And Fears is subbed in for Jose Alvarado. Williamson outside. Pass to Bay. They set the pick. Lets it go with the 3. Buries it from 3-point range. Bay's got it all tied up now for New Orleans. About a minute played here in the 4th quarter. DiVincenzo kicks to Randall. Outside Edwards. And hit the 3.
Well, if you take low percentage shots, you are going to have difficulty making them.
Here's Queen. Takes the 3. Rebounded by DiVincenzo.
And on an open look like that, he's very gifted at making the weak coverage pay.
Randall with a screen for McDaniel. And it doesn't go. The Pelicans have gone 1 of 3 from the field to start the 4th quarter. Here's Fears. Defended by DiVincenzo. And that one is good.
And the D not really doing its job there. A little slow to react to the ball getting into the paint.
And so Chris Finch calls for the timeout. Clearly, he's got something his players need to hear. And immediately. Now, let's take a minute to talk to Allie LaForce courtside. Allie.
I was able to listen in on what Chris Finch was going over with his team. He isn't liking what he's seeing out there on the perimeter, saying to his guys, defensively, we're too lax, and they're getting any 3 they want. And offensively, the ball movement, it isn't crisp, which is why we're not getting many opportunities from outside. I want to see improvement on both ends.
Terrific, Allie. We appreciate the report. Here's Edwards. Randall with a screen for Edwards. Now DiVincenzo. McDaniels. The long shot, no good. Fourth quarter of play, we're about 2.5 minutes through it right now. And it misses. And Randall has got the ball here for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Trailing by 2. Now Edwards. And stolen by Bay. Here's Queen. He's defended by Randall. Now Fears. Bay with a screen on DiVincenzo. Can't get it. Minnesota's gotten off to an 0-for-2 start from downtown here in the fourth quarter. Randall can't get it to go.
Well, protecting the rim, plays like that really bolster your defense.
Oh, what a slam!
Clean that up!
Remember that one, guys, a difference maker.
What a big-time shot. Those are the moments you dream about as a kid.
That's a great look at that move from the Connected Cam, sponsored by AT&T. Edwards fires. That one's off, still out of sync.
He typically dominates that area of the floor. It just didn't drop.
First team foul.
They can more or less wrap it up right here.
This has to be a very smart possession.
Personal foul. Second team foul. Zion Williamson.
First free throw is good, and that puts them up by 5. Second free throw, no good that time. He really wanted that one. And the Timberwolves with possession here. Here's Gobert. Good.
It's Gobert showing some guts on that one. With that length, a good bet to get off a good look in that crucial moment. Honestly, just doing what they have to in order to get the basketball back.
And no good as the first free throw, missing for him. We'll see if he can nail the second. And he does get the second one. And that gives them a 4-point cushion. Minnesota calls timeout. They're behind by 4. Any ideas on strategy being discussed right now in that huddle?
Yeah, trying to get back in this thing, they need a score.
You have to be smart here. If they're successful, the foul has got to happen quickly.
Up top, Edwards. Now Randall fires the three. Clean from outside.
And how about Randall coming up clutch? Wow, this guy has ice in his veins.
They're going to prolong the game here with an intentional foul. He hits the first one, and that will put them up by 2. And he hits both free throws here. So now it's a 3-point game.
And that could seal it at the line. He looked totally composed the entire time. But what a steady presence offensively and a very difficult player to game plan for.
And so James Borrego decides to call timeout. He made the decision to huddle up with his guys and talk about strategy. Down he goes for 3. So it's a narrow victory for New Orleans, pulling it out for a double. What a show they put on here at home tonight.
I mean, these are those games that feel so great to win, and really, it's like a knife in the gut to lose. You gotta love being on edge of your seat and just wondering what's gonna happen. How is this thing gonna play out?
Now let's check in with Allie LaForce on the sideline. What do you have for us, Allie?
Zion, this is a team with some outstanding young players with complementary skills. How do you see yourself fitting in?
I think I fit in very well. I think I'm a very versatile player. You can throw me out there with any group, and I'm going to put up, do something to contribute. And I think we're a very unselfish team, so that plays a big part to it.
And any group would be happy to have you. Thanks, Zion.
Great job. Thanks for that, Allie. And that's going to do it tonight, folks, for our broadcast. Along with Tim Legler, Greg Anthony, and Allie LaForce, this is Kevin Harlan saying thank you once again for being with us here tonight on 2K Sports. We'll see you next time.